NASCAR Cup Series driver Ross Chastain joins the show today to discuss his career from humble beginnings as a watermelon farmer in Southwest Florida to the top level of stock car racing. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric and welcome to Out of the Groove. Big shout out to Ross Chastain and the folks at Ganassi Racing for making today's video possible. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We often feature guests from within the world of NASCAR racing. And during the week, we discuss all the news, rumors, and speculation from around the NASCAR world. So be sure to subscribe if you have not already. Now, without further ado, let's go to my earlier interview with Ross Chastain. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Out of the Groove. This week, I am joined by NASCAR Cup Series driver Ross Chastain on location. Ross, how's it going, man? Where are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. I'm in Southwest Florida. I'm at my dad's watermelon farm. Got a day off, a little vacation ahead of Homestead weekend.
Does he have you doing any work out there, or is it really a vacation? It's all chill this time?
Well, my job is to promote as much as it is anything. So, I'm here promoting, and there's no better place than actually out here in the field. They're all working. Chad, my brother Chad, he works, full time with my dad, and so they're doing the real work. Maybe once the cameras go away, I might get this polo a little dirty.
Fantastic. Well, you say you're in Southwest Florida. That's fairly close to where we're racing this weekend. So, I know a lot of fans know you as the Watermelon Man and everything, but I want to hear more about how you got your start in racing. How does a man that grew up on a watermelon farm like this, how does he get to where he is now? How'd you get your start in racing?
Yeah, so growing up here, right, it's a lot of land. There's roads. There's a lot of places to drive. And so as kids, we were allowed to drive just about anything we could physically drive out here. My dad would, he made sure we knew how to do it, teach us how to drive something. And then, from as early as I can remember, we were driving tractors, driving four-wheelers out here, and old cars, actually. Like, we had some old Pontiacs that we were allowed to just drive. I mean, I don't know, 8 years old. I'm sitting on the front edge of the big bench seat, trying to basically stand up to look over the dash, and I'm allowed to drive this car around. So we did that. And then at 12 years old, there's a track about 30 minutes away. It's now called 417 Speedway by the Punta Gorda Airport. And they had a kid class in the fast truck division. So Mark Martin and his son, Matt, they raced in it across Florida. And my dad did some hobby racing before I was born and a little bit after. I remember when I was a kid. But he had sold all that when Chad was born. 2 kids, a growing business. The hobby racing had to stop. So we got into that. We borrowed a truck he raced against. That was 2005. And I was 12 years old. And we just fell in love with it, man. We bought our own race truck. My family got involved. My grandparents, my mom's dad is a gearhead. He loves mechanicking on stuff. He's got a swamp buggy that he takes down the Everglades. It's always broken down, right? Something's always needing to be fixed. So he was the one that would come and pack the wheel bearings, make sure that, the brake pads had enough pad left for the next week. Like, he taught me all that. And my dad and me then would work on the setup. And my dad knew what wedge was, how to make the truck looser, tighter, sway bar, springs, stuff like that. So we kind of, just like a team, right? We each they took their specialty, and we just fell in love with it. No aspirations of NASCAR. I'll be honest, man. It's crazy to think about where we're at and what we've done, and to be here. And, I go spend the night at my parents and get some good home cooking. But to see our race shop and the race cars we worked with and stuff, it was just a hobby. And so it all started driving around these fields, though.
That's fantastic. So you say you had no real aspirations of NASCAR at first. So what do you consider to be your big break? Was it a specific race or a partnership that came together? What would you say that was?
It was embracing the sponsorship side, right? I mean, we didn't have the family money to go race in NASCAR, just buy a team or rent. We kind of knew you needed some funding. And so embracing that, and then we went over to the World Series over in New Smyrna, and we won the limited late model division in 2011. We won 3 races that week, beat some guys and girls that we shouldn't have. And that was where we realized, hey, we need to take a look at this NASCAR stuff. We need we need to look at it more serious. My dad said it in Victory Lane right out on the front stretch, like we won the championship. He's like, hey, we need to. I was kind of the Debbie Downer of like, no, we don't need to. We don't need to try to work on that. We need to just grow more watermelons. That's what we do. And so we got it, went out into the agriculture community, the National Watermelon Promotion Board, some different companies got on board to sponsor me for a race. And from there we got 4 more, and then we got a full season, and we just kept growing it. But it was growing up racing at my local track was the fundamentals of teaching me how to drive. Very hard, very flat, slick 3/8 mile asphalt track. But going over to New Smyrna, winning speed weeks, that gave us the confidence, or at least my dad. And then it gave, when we would talk to like the first team owner I was able to drive for, Stacy Compton. When we said we won the World Series, he said, say no more. If you've won that, you're ready.
Wow.
And that was the first building block of the NASCAR career.
And you mentioned how important the watermelon industry has been to getting your racing career started. Like, fans may not realize, they see watermelons on your car sometimes, things like that, but they may just think it's like a shtick or whatever the case may be. But you've gotten real support from the watermelon industry. So how important was that, or is that connection to getting your career to where it is today?
It's everything, man. First of all, it's humbling because this is not easy work. It looks glamorous. It's a perfect day right now, but my brother and dad and uncle that work out here every day, all day, it's real work. And these plants behind me are planted by hand on the back of a tractor. We've been in this field. This is an old orange grove as recent as last August, and they've cleared all the trees. We're on the orange grove beds, and just continue to, it's a lot of land preparation, land work to get this land ready to grow watermelons. And so there is my brother taking off to go. He's always running around somewhere out here. So it's real work, and that's the biggest thing. And then we have to move land every year. So we're on a 10-year land rotation. So the humbling side of it is knowing I want to be racing cars versus working out here every day, if I'm being honest. But I know I'm going to come back, because this doesn't feel like work either. But it is more physical work day to day versus just one race a week. There's always something wrong. There's underground irrigation that we're watering and feeding these plants with, and there's always one leaking somewhere. So there's always something to be done.
Yeah, and that Florida sun can be brutal during the hot months of the year. So getting back to racing, though, it's your first year with Chip Ganassi. I want to go back to, I remember 2017, 2018 when you were racing for JD Motorsports, and a lot of people really took notice of what you were able to do in that car those years. You're flirting with the playoffs. You obviously caught the attention of Chip Ganassi around that time, but when did you both first meet, and how did he eventually approach you about getting in that Xfinity car for the first time?
We met for the first time. I didn't meet Chip until our third Xfinity race together at
Really?
Richmond. We talked on the phone after the first Darlington race. So there's a lot of people involved, right? But obviously I knew Chip and was talking through his people, and he knew me talking through me and my couple of guys that were helping me at Spire, at the sports and entertainment side of the agency side. That's where the relationship happened, was through Spire. They saw a few races that were open on that 42 car. I was friends with them. I'd been driving their motorhome, right? Everybody who told the story, that's, so there's a lot of middle people involved, men and women. And so, it was after that Darlington race where we crashed, for the lead. They're like, text Chip, here's his number. And he calls me right after I text him. He calls me and had nothing but compliments. I was scared to death he was going to fire me. I was like, I'm not even driving in Vegas in 2 weeks. And he was pumped. We were competitive right out of the box, and had a lot of good things to say. So from there, we really got to know each other. And we have a lot of things in common, more than we probably know. We have a mutual love for Southwest Florida. He's a Pittsburgh guy, born and raised, and loves Pittsburgh, but he realizes how nice it is in Southwest Florida. So, we've been able to bond over that in a lot of ways. And a lot of stuff went south for us. A lot of stuff didn't go how we planned, but I told him, I'm like, man, you need to let me go. Basically, if you don't have any sponsorship for me, I understand. I get it. I get the business side. And he said, nope. When everything went down at the end of 2018 or beginning of 2019. He said, "Look, we're gonna figure it out one day. I don't know when, I don't know how, but we'll get it." And so he held true. I did a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of simulator work for the team, and I was able to stay in race cars, and they helped me just be a better race car driver. And but I think our first press conference together announcing a full season, I think he said something about he could not have picked me out of a lineup full of women or something. So we've came a long way since then, for sure.
That's incredible. That's awesome to hear how supportive he still was, because I was wondering those couple of years where it was sort of limbo maybe for you, how you're going to get back to Chip Ganassi in whatever way. Like, that's cool though that he was still very, very involved and believed in your abilities, and excited to see what you do this year. So my last question, fans, one thing I like about you is that you have a clear, distinguishable style of racing. Like, when we see the 42 car on the track, we kind of know what's going on behind the visor. We know what you're thinking. Fans know you're aggressive. I'm sure drivers know you're a bit aggressive. You don't like to settle. But how would you describe your personality behind the wheel of a race car?
Yeah, I would say angry for a lot of my career, and it came from a deeper desire to succeed and win, and I just wasn't getting that, so I was getting angrier and angrier. And I've had a little bit of success, right? We've won 4 truck races, 2 Xfinity races. We've kicked off this season right at the 500, so definitely a lot more peace inside of me. Angry we got wrecked at the road course, but like even this week, dealing with that, I'm not angry that we didn't do anything wrong. We were doing exactly what we planned to do. Gonna run in the top 15. I got beat up on a restart, but I wasn't angry when we fell from 15th to 21st. Like, I was okay. It's fine. It's everything, and I was calm in the car. So in the past, a lot of that you've seen, and it's shown through the visor in the car, is just a bit of anger. I'm young. I'm 28, but I'm still maturing. I'm still figuring out how to deal with setbacks. And for a long time, as soon as anything went different than how I planned it, a lap, a restart, I had to fix it right now. And I've had to embrace the fact that everything's not going to go perfect. And, we can still win even if we have some setbacks.
Playing the long game. Yeah, no, that's interesting to hear how that's sort of evolved over time. But you've always been one of my favorite drivers to watch on the racetrack, especially the last few years. So I appreciate you joining the show. Good luck this weekend at Homestead, Miami, fresh off a top 10 at Daytona a couple weeks back. Good luck, and we'll be rooting for you out there.
All right. Thanks, man.
Again, a big thank you to Ross and Chip Ganassi Racing for setting that up. That's all I've got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. As always, a huge thank you to my amazing Patreon supporters. This channel would not grow without your tremendous support each and every single month. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Ross Chastain. It was a lot of fun for me to be a part of, and really cool to see exactly where his journey began. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I will see you all in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday.